and down in Teddy Park, and it's kind of a neat fountain that they have here. Sometimes at night they'll have symphony music, and all of those fountains also have lights in them, so they'll coordinate it and synchronize it with the music, and the fountains will go and put on a show. It's really nice down here. But as you can see, it's very active during Sukkot. Many times I come and it's just empty, but it's nice to see the families out and enjoying the time together. The children are sure rejoicing. So they're doing Sukkot right. And you know, of course, so there's the timepiece that I talked about before. And it's interesting because when the sun was in the clouds, it wasn't working. But here we go. You can tell what time it is. Of course, we're on daylight savings. It's like an hour off. So it really should be about, I think our timepieces say like 4:30. So that's one of the things that is different from the way we keep time mechanically. But you know, I was also thinking about the fact that somebody sent me a question about Sheol. And of course, Sheol, the basic definition of Sheol is the grave. And when you're in the grave, it's likened to sleep. There's darkness. And essentially, you're released from your physical body, so time stands still. There is no time. So when somebody passes away, people say, oh, you know, they've gone to be with the Lord, or, you know, they're in heaven now. Well, that's not necessarily the case. Our nefesh goes to Sheol, and then until the resurrection. Of course, when you're in Sheol, time doesn't really matter that much. You don't recognize time like you do in this, as a dimension in this physical realm. So I know people grapple with that issue. What happens to their loved ones, and where are they while they're still living? But it's not, you can't make that correlation. When we're here on earth, we're still in these containers of flesh. We're subject to that, all the dimensions, including the dimension of time. And when we're released from this container of flesh, we're no longer in time. So sometimes those questions are not really questions that can be dealt with, you know, in this realm. It's likened to sleeping, like I said, and pretty much our daily life is a pattern, you know, for our physical lives. It's almost like in the morning, and as I've said before with time, we're made to synchronize with the sun as far as our daily conduct goes. But when we wake up in the morning, we're supposed to wake up with the sun. And it's like being reborn again. It's like birth, coming out of darkness and into the light. And then we live our daily lives, and then as the day begins to wane, the sun begins to set until there's total darkness, and we're supposed to go to sleep essentially when it gets dark. So we could, you know, ideally we would synchronize our lives with the sun in an area, obviously, where the sun has a steady and consistent schedule. I know some people in Alaska would have a really hard time with that, and other areas of the world. But if you're here, for instance, in the land, it'd be very easy to rise and then lie down with in the pattern of the sun. So that is really, you know, another aspect of time that we need to consider when we pass. That time doesn't exist anymore. The sundial doesn't work in darkness, and nor does time really matter when we're in the grave. I think that what would happen when we pass is that, you know, you'd fall asleep, and the next thing you know, hopefully you're going to hear the sound of that shofar, and you're going to rise in the resurrection and meet your master. So anyways, it's a beautiful day in the city of Jerusalem, and hope you enjoy these little walks and talks, and hope it gives you a little taste of what it's like to be in the land. And I'll keep doing these throughout the feast as long as I can. So Hag Sameach from Jerusalem. This is Todd Bennett during Sukkot of 2023.